I'm going to just acknowledge this is inconvenient for people, and we understand that.
Now moving on to the story of the weather. Starting tomorrow night in the city of Minneapolis, you can no longer park on the even side of most residential side streets, at least not until April 1st, no fooling, or conditions improve, whichever happens first. This kind of restriction happens every few years or so, but this has not happened since 2019. That's the last time. It does not apply to snow emergency routes unless an emergency is declared. I know it's clear as mud. For now, St. Paul says they're not going to enact winter parking restrictions, so not going to do the same thing. And this announcement is welcome news for first responders and bus drivers who have been struggling to get through narrow roads for at least the last 2 weeks. And it's also a relief for some parents of students who ride the school bus. But as Kent explains tonight, parents, at least in one neighborhood, stopped waiting for the city to act a while ago.
School bus routes in Minneapolis' Tangletown neighborhood are snarled by snow on good days and just plain stuck on bad days. And the bad days have been hard to keep track of these days.
About 7 or 6.
5, 6, yeah.
Yeah. And there was a period of time where it was like almost daily for a week.
Molly Lloyds and her kids say the first day was manageable.
There were 2 cars on the street, and one was in front of the other.
We just couldn't get through, so we had to end up going backwards and come back up a different way.
But I was standing here and we saw the bus coming back down the hill and turning up around.
But as time has gone on, all streets seem to be closing in.
It just gets stuck everywhere. So it's a big chunk of road on both sides that we don't have.
Rachel Ulfer says one day even backing up was out of the question. So she devised a backup plan.
And some of the neighbors at the bus stop that were able to be working from home, we just texted them and said, how many can you fit in your car? So everybody got to school that day. But the bus was there for probably an hour and a half.
After multiple calls and 311 requests went unanswered,
Hi.
the parents came together to organize their own informal one-sided street parking campaign.
And I just was like, I'll just text the people on my block because I know almost all of them and it will be faster.
The plan worked, and on Monday, the city finally responded with no parking signs on one of the troubled streets.
It was great that we were able to knock on neighbors' doors, but that's not really a citywide plan.
Today, that plan finally came.
Starting tomorrow at 9 p.m., because of public safety issues, we are going to go to one-sided parking in Minneapolis.
In a meeting with emergency responders, Minneapolis Public Works admitted that plows won't be able to widen the streets anytime soon. And Minneapolis Public Schools admitted that buses across the city have had similar issues since the first January storm.
That morning we had 19 buses that were stuck in the snow that had to be rescued by our mechanics and the tow trucks to get them out. So that's the extreme. It's a record, actually.
I love you.
For the record, since this Tangletown bus stop is already less tangled thanks to these families, the only question they have now is what took so long.
Like, what the hell's wrong is probably not the right question. And that was the only other question I had. So you probably can't. Maybe you can put that on. I don't know.
Everybody's in the same boat. We're all driving on these streets and we realize how terrible it is. It's frustrating that it takes so much effort sometimes to get something basic done.
In Minneapolis, Kent Erdahl, KARE 11 News.
You can ask that question on TV, and you did, and we appreciate it. All of the details about this new glorious one-sided parking plan, which again goes into effect tomorrow at 9 o'clock at night, is on our website, KARE11.com, along with answers to some frequently asked questions.